You are listening to the Doctor Grande Podcast. Another episode begins right now. And another warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining on another week. I know I missed you guys last week, but hey, you know, life's crazy sometimes. You got stuff going on, and I'm not making excuses, but, you know, there's a lot that I'm going to share with you on this episode. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this episode. And no, we did not forget about the podcast. And no, we did not say screw the podcast. And no, I did not forget about you. And I just want to remind everybody, you can listen to the podcast Spotify, or you can watch the video. We now filming this, and you can watch it via YouTube, or both. I mean, if you'd like listening to things, just audibly, if that's a word, and or visually, you now have the option. So I hope you guys have been doing well. What the hell have you guys been doing since we've been kind of taking a week off, and we're back? And so just let me know. Be a part of the conversation. Just email me, grande at drgrande.com or drgrandelive@gmail.com. I'm still using both emails. So, you know, I've been going through a lot of changes lately. And if you're not aware, if you weren't aware, you know, my father recently passed. And it's brought a lot of challenges and stuff like that. But one of the things that struck me, because last week was horrible. Last week was just one of those weeks that anything that could go wrong would go wrong, right? And it's sometimes you got to sit there, and as you're taking the blows of the week or the problems of the week, and it just seems like it just one thing after another, right? It just goes on, and you're getting sinking more and more into the sand, so to speak. And it just seemed like that. And I had to take a step backwards. And I just had to pause for a second. I just had to be like, whoa, wait a minute. And what I realized is that sometimes, you know, we're waiting for things to fall in our laps. We've talked about in previous podcasts about aligning the big picture, the goals and stuff like that. But it kind of fades away, doesn't it? It kind of fades away with the daily grind. The things that could go wrong, do go wrong, and we just get so locked into what we're doing and all the negative things that go on, and that we're just kind of just stuck in a sense. And that's where I was, because I still wasn't anywhere caught up or prepared, or it hasn't become any easier for my dad's passing. And there's a lot to do when you have a loss of life and you're dealing with all that stuff and all the property and all the stuff that somebody, my dad in this case, worked their entire life for. And it's hard to deal with. I never imagined in a million years I'd be at this juncture, this crossroad in my life. Just like I said on the very first podcast, I never thought I would be 30 anytime soon, but it comes. And when it comes, sometimes when it rains, it pours. So I've been making a lot of changes, because one thing that's hard in life that I found, and maybe you find this, or maybe you're in the exact same situation I am right now, where if you're wanting changes or you're feeling there's a lack of something in your life and you're just waiting for someone to do it, you're waiting for the change to initiate in your life. You're waiting for that phone call. You're waiting for that promotion. You're just waiting for something to happen. And you're riding the waves of life every day. You're just staying afloat. You keep bobbling your head, so to speak. But I just want to remind you, and the thing that I learned and I had to remind myself this week, and yeah, because I have to remind myself some things. I may have good advice, but that comes from experience. That comes from talking to other people, but I don't have the answer to everything. Nor am I perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. So sometimes I have to remind myself of things I'm telling you guys and what I've said before, and I have to eat my own words, so to speak. And the thing I had to remind myself last week is that if you want change in your life, you have to initiate it. You have to initiate. You have to be the source that starts things, that puts things into motion. Because if you don't, then you're subject to the, what I like to call, whatever will be mentality. And that's fine. But I would think, and I hope that you would also agree with me, that that mentality doesn't give you control in your life. That mentality doesn't allow you to put yourself in the cockpit of your own life and your own future and your own destiny. And I'm just saying, yeah, there's more responsibility when you live in that realm, but the rewards are also abundant. Okay? So I initiated some change. I changed my career pathway. I changed my employment status. And I got to a point, and I'm just going to be real with you. And I'll always be real with you. I got to a point where I got fed up with some stuff that was going on. And I'm not going to, put blame on everybody. I'm not going to, turn this into a gossip echo chamber. But I just got to a point where I was sitting there going, what am I doing? Am I happy here? And instead of trying to change the system, which I was, trying to make it better, more productive, I thrive on trying to bring productivity to a situation. I like optimization. As some of you may know from previous podcasts, last podcast where we had the Daniel son, that I'm a mathematical guy. I'm a numbers guy. I'm an analytical guy. So I like to optimize things. And one thing I've been working on myself is my productivity level. We're all given the same 24 hours. You, me, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, the celebrities of the world. We're all given the same amount of time. As what we do with it that makes the difference, you see? And so I've been trying to work on my day, create a routine, a daily routine that I do without failure. Because I know if I do that and I stick to that and I discipline myself, then I'm increasing my productivity. And so I just felt that my current employment status wasn't going anywhere. I was looking at the future. I was looking at the future growth opportunities and stuff like that. And like I said, like I talked about in the last podcast, looking at and developing a future plan, I'm doing that right here with you. So when I get up here on the mic and I talk to you, I'm not talking down at you. I'm talking because I'm right in the middle and in the mix and in the running with you guys, okay? And if I tell something or if I give an input on something, it's because I've been there or I've done that. So I changed the employment because I came to the conclusion that the future of where I want to be in the future and things I want to do in the future weren't in conjunction with where this opportunity, which I'm grateful for the opportunity, was going to go. So, in other words, why am I going to deal with the problem trying to change a system that's not going to change and doesn't provide me with the growth in what I need? See, people get a job thinking like, oh, I'll just pay the bills. Oh, I'll just, it pays the bills. It puts a roof over my head. That's it. And they just want a mind-numbing job where they just go to work, they clock in, they clock out, and that's it. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But my biggest point in the way I think about it, and maybe you're rethinking about it too. Maybe you're in that position right now. But the way I think about it is that I like to think about it as, I think first and foremost, you should be passionate in what you're doing. Work should not just be something to pass time, but something you take pride in and you're passionate about. My very first, well, not my first professor, but a professor I had for Calculus 1. He was a Russian guy. He researched with Paul Erudish, and if you're in the math community, you know Paul Erudish is a really prestigious, famous mathematician. But he said, if you're not doing what you're passionate about, you'll never find happiness. And it's interesting when you get told something like that, and if you're not understanding or not that position in life to understand or appreciate it, then it kind of just like goes, okay, whatever. Let's move on. Let's go to lecture. Come on, just give me this stuff so I can get on with my day and get through this class, okay? But it's not till years later that I kind of appreciate and understand what he meant. And I've been there. Just don't get me wrong. I've been there. I worked dead-end jobs. I worked a job out of necessity. You know, when I was in college, I had to work a job. It wasn't like the most significant job or greatest calling job, but I had to work it because I had bills, okay? I was in a relationship at the time, and I had to produce. So I've been to the situation where I don't have, like, you know, the world's most renowned job. Maybe you don't have that either. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're happy with what you're doing. And if you're happy with what you're doing and where you're going and what you're producing, then if you're happy and passionate about it and you don't have any hesitation of getting up and going and do that in the morning, then by all means, you're good. You're in the right spot. But just what I look at it and the way where I'm coming from is that I just want to look at it in a way that I am more in control and am producing something that is long term. Producing something that I'm passionate about. I like solving problems. I like doing something that I feel makes a difference. And just keep in mind, people might be like, "Well, Doc, very ambitious," but just keep in mind that my level of passion and what I want to do, my goals, my level of making a difference, making a change, might be different than yours. Yours is not wrong, and mine's not wrong. Mine's not right, and yours is not wrong. You know, we all have different things. You got to define that for yourself. First and foremost, go back and listen to the first few episodes where we dial that in. And that's what it's about. So I was thinking, and I was just going, you know, I want to I think I can do a little bit better. Not that I'm above where I was at. Not that I'm above any of the people that I was at. It's just, I just learned that I wasn't in the right spot for me. And a lot of times the problem to initiate change or recognize change or recognize an opportunity comes from one place. Do you know what that, we got a little ding going on. Do you know what that one place is? That one place is your mind. So you can have the right intention at heart. You can have the right will, desires at heart, but if you don't have what's in mind, that is what matters the most. What you constantly have in mind, the things you think about all the time, the music that you listen to, the people that you associate yourself with. That's what I'm trying to say. And the music you listen to, the things you're feeding your mind constantly have an effect on you and your future. The way you conduct yourself, the way you handle your day-to-day life. And a lot of us don't realize that until it's too late. But it's like, if you put garbage and you're surrounded by negativity, you're going to dwell in negativity. If you're surrounded by optimism and, you know, passion and, you know, driving and doing the hustle, so to speak, you're going to have you're going to thrive in that. So the mind is the most wondrous creation in the world. I mean, we don't understand how the mind fully works. I think we only understand a very small percentage, maybe a small double-digit percentage of how the mind works and what it all does, but there's a lot of complexity in it. And without the vast, what do you want to call it? The vast power processing capabilities the mind has, we would not be where we are today. Imagine if we couldn't think the way we do. Imagine if we can't hold complex thoughts or complex conversations or do complex mathematics or physics or whatever. We would be in a very different type of place. But it's the thing that you put in your mind and the things that you keep on a revolving door and repeating yourself will change and pave the way to your future. And it's very scary because a lot of times, people wonder, why is this person so depressed? Why is this person so angry? Why is this person spiraling out of control? And a lot of it is, there's outside influences, but there's a lot of it comes from what that particular person has going through their mind constantly. And I'm a victim of it. I find myself, I have good days and bad days. Some people are like, oh my God, Doc has bad days? They think I come on the podcast and I'm just always chipper and everything's great. I wish. Hey, I wish. Boy, how I wish. But the thing is that I have to sometimes pause and go, you know what? My day seems like it's out of control. Like I have no control. I have no power. I have nothing because my mind has been made up. I've been thinking about that. I've been going, man, today sucks. Man, anything's going to go wrong. Of course it's going wrong. I mean, I got another phone call. Oh my God, something else is going wrong. Of course it is. And you see what I mean? I go just down that rabbit hole of just having a lot of bull crap happen and my perspective changing. And the issue with that is because what you have in mind matters, and it will allow you to miss it or take opportunities up. And everything we've talked about thus far in the podcast, if you have the wrong thing in mind. If you're looking for love in all the wrong places. You've ever heard about looking for love in all the wrong places? If you have the wrong ideas in mind, you're never going to have a healthy relationship. You're never going to recognize a good relationship or good opportunities when you have the wrong things in mind. So what I would recommend and what I've been doing is trying to keep the things in my mind limited. Not that I don't want things in my mind, but I want the stuff in my mind that goes through my mind and dwells in my mind to be stuff that is productive, that will take me to the next level, that will keep me the progress and me pushing forward than just pushing back, dwelling on the past, getting caught up in a bad situation and screwing the rest of my day up. Because what you don't realize is when you got the wrong thing in mind, it's going to cost you because you're not going to recognize the opportunity that's ahead of you. Think about it. You go to work, you have a positive attitude. Then your coworker says something and sets you off, you're having a miserable day. But guess what? Somebody who you could have talked to in a better positive mindset and recognized as an opportunity to get a promotion, you now blow it because they're like, hey, how are you doing? And you're just like, oh, today sucks. Everything sucks. My life sucks. So let me just challenge you this week, okay, to really think about, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but think about what you're thinking about on a constant basis. Are you thinking positive thoughts? Are you thinking that, everybody has good luck but you don't? Are you thinking that you're going to be alone the rest of your life in the world and that everybody else found love and you're incapable of finding love for some reason? Remember we talked about self-worth? What if you want to build self-worth, how are you thinking about yourself? Are you thinking you're the most hideous person in the world, that you don't look like someone who belongs in a magazine? Remember, the cure for that is to stop comparing yourself and to find happiness in yourself. It's all about what you have in mind. I've seen people great, awesome people inside the workplace get eat up alive in their personal lives, and it literally kills them because they have the wrong things in mind. So let me just encourage you and just kind of warn you to just take control, take initiative, take possession and ownership of what you allow to go in your mind. I know it's cool to listen to all these songs. There's such a music going on that has all these different vibes and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, you will feel better. You will perform better when you have the right things in mind. So this week, think about the things going in your mind, the things you constantly say to yourself. Like, are you constantly saying I can or I can't? Are you constantly saying I'm not good, I don't deserve this, I can't do this? Or are you saying I'll figure it out? I may not know all the answers, but I'm smart, I'm willing, I'm capable, and I can figure anything out. And if I can't figure it out, I have my friends and resources that I can go to that I know can figure it out. See what I'm saying? Is it half full or half empty, guys? That's all I'm asking. And I tell you, everything we've talked about thus far depends. It builds on one another. Just like in math, this math builds on that math. It all depends on one another. So let me just say, try to see what you have in mind, like I've been saying. And then if you find yourself with all this, like, I can't defeat mentality, try changing it. Start using words of affirmation. Start getting up, being grateful and appreciation. One of the things I have to work on, and I am working on, is to learn to be more appreciative, to be in the moment. See, I'm a person that has big dreams, big ambitions, and I'm so stuck on the big picture. You remember we talked about looking at the different perspectives of your dreams, the short term, the day-to-day, and the big picture? Well, I'm so stuck on the big picture that sometimes I forget to be in the moment. Sometimes I forget to be appreciative of what's in front of me, the opportunities that's in front of me, the people that's in front of me, the whatever that's in front of me right here and right now. Because I'm so stuck on that big picture. And I'm saying there's some people like that. Maybe you're doing it. Where you got that big picture so bright and vibrant in your mind that you forget to enjoy the journey. Remember we talked about how it's the journey that matters the most, that should be enjoyable till we get to the destination, not necessarily just the destination. I have to keep reminding myself that. Because I find that, like, I have people going, hello, Doc. Are you here? Are you with us? You're physically here. But are you mentally here? I've also struggled with that where, even relationships, friendships, romantic partners, whatever. They'll know when you're in the moment and you're not. Oh, they'll know. If you're on a date or out with friends and you're caught up in here in your mind thinking about, like, oh, okay, after I leave here, I'm going to do this. I got to do this. I got to record the podcast. I got to blah, blah. They see it. You can see it on somebody. Part of the journey is to be able to appreciate today. And I don't think we do that enough. We're not able to appreciate the moment enough. And you would think, when I first went through, my dad passing away, I saw how precious time was. And I got on the mic and I said, time's precious commodity. It's not something we can create more of if we only got limited number of time. But I find myself always have to remind myself that. Because a lot of my time, and this is not me being Debbie Downer, just being real with you guys and telling you, hey, I struggle with this too. I'm not perfect. That a lot of my struggles have been is that I haven't been appreciative and in the moment now. I've been so far thinking about ahead that I haven't been in the moment now. And so I'm stumbling over shit because I'm looking ahead. I'm not looking where I'm at right now. It's okay to look at where you're going, but also look at the trail in front of you. If there's a freaking rock or ledge there, you don't want to go off of it. And I've done that plenty of times. And keeping that in mind is important. So if you got to refresh your mind every day, you got to shake the old off. You got to bring in with the new stuff. Like I said, one of my biggest policies I've had is if I have a crappy day at the office, I don't bring that home. I don't bring it on the stream. I don't bring it to the podcast. I shake that shit off and I come in here with a fresh mind. And there are a lot of people, maybe you do this, or maybe you don't. But you get a phone call, your spouse texts you something, your friend, your coworker, whatever, says something to you, and the next thing you know, your whole day is ruined. Next thing you know, you're just like angry. You're angry. You just want to just punch the next person that says, "Hi, how are you doing?" in the face. Don't be that way. Because when you're doing that, you're holding on to baggage. You're holding on to anger. You're holding on to frustration. You're holding on to something that does not even matter. Let that shit go. You're better than that. You're more capable than that. Start valuing yourself and appreciating yourself to allow that stuff that doesn't matter, that stuff you're holding on to, that was years ago, days ago, weeks ago, go. Because it's taking up space in your mind. It's eating you up inside. And then just let it go and be in the moment. Keep long-term things. Watch how the pieces are clicking together. But appreciate where you are right now. And some of you might go, Doc, it's so hard to do it. I mean, it's such in a shitty place. And I've been there, and I get that, and I appreciate that thought. But one of the things I've learned is that just because you're in a shitty situation, there's not something you can't appreciate. I was going, like I said, I was going to school full time, and I was working. And when you work and you go to school full time, and you're trying to figure out bills and stuff like that, and stuff comes up, like your car broke down or whatever, you're just like, this sucks. I have no life. I'm just work for money. I just work and I just hand my paycheck, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But you can still be appreciative that you're healthy, that you're able to work, that you have work. It might not be your best work. It might not be your ideal long-term job, but hey, it's a job. There's a lot of people who can't get a job right now. And a lot of people not willing to get a job right now. But it's all the matter of perspective. And I'm just saying that no matter if you're at a crossroad or you're in paradise season right now in your life, that you learn just to appreciate it, and you are able to be clear-headed to recognize opportunities, challenges, and you face them with the right thing in mind. Okay? So let me know what your thoughts are. Also, give some feedback, what you think. Weigh in the conversation, and let me know what you want to talk about next week. And I will see you guys next Tuesday on the next podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. I'll see you next week.